welcome to today's game. It's the fifth and last declaration game of the 2025-2026 season. Just figuring out where all the teams should land. It's 10 a.m. on Sunday, October 19th at St. Peter's Recplex South B Rink. Got a matchup between the Chesterfield Falcons and the St. Peter's Hockey Club, both 12U-B2 teams. St. Peter's Club, coached by Nathan Dyke. There are two St. Peter's 12U-B2 teams, the other one coached by Richardson. This St. Peter's Club is 3-0-1, second place in the declaration standings, having forced 22 goals and allowing 5 up to this point. That's Radley Ariola in net for the St. Peter's Hockey Club. On the other end of the ice, we have the Chesterfield Falcons. They are 4-0-0, first in the declaration season, forcing 27 goals and allowing 5. St. Peter's has 16 players on the bench, 1 goalie and 15 skating out. Chesterfield Falcons have 1 less player on the ice. That's 14 players and 1 goalie. So we'll see if legs become an issue with 1 extra player rotating in and out for St. Peter's Hockey Club. Either way, we should have a good matchup on paper. Both teams are fairly close. So we'll see what comes out of today's game. That's time on the warm-up clock. So both teams are ready to get going. That's Falcons headed away from the net. They'll go back to their bench. St. Peter's getting ready to start this game. We've got James LeGrand at right wing, Maxwell Harrison at left, Will Benton at center, Tyler Krenitsky and Denny. That's Francis Denny paired with Krenitsky back on defense. This is Liska, Hayden Liska, number 60 for St. Peter's Hockey Club, facing off against Benton. Montgomery Dyke, also on the ice for St. Peter's Hockey Club. And this is the opening face-off. That's going to go to the St. Peter's Hockey Club. They'll win and kick it in. That went loose, but picked up by Krenitsky, who makes a pass just in front of the net. That was dangerous. Picked up by LeGrand on the boards. LeGrand trying to carry it out. That's a nice pass over to Harrison. Harrison into the neutral zone. Picked up by LeGrand again as that was poked away by the St. Peter's Hockey Club. Harrison trying to carry it forward. This time it's LeGrand who gets on it. Lost puck in transition. St. Peter's trying to send it out. They have their stick on it. Now passed over. It's LeGrand who had a chance. That's a shot by Harrison in just outside the shooting lane. Puck contested behind the net. That was another shot by Harrison. This time Benton. Benton shot off the right leg pad. Another big save by Ariola. Ariola down low making a big save twice as the rebound was picked up by Benton. Good goalie work by St. Peter's. That's a shot sliding down by LeGrand. Loose puck picked up by Benton, wrapped around behind the net. Another shot, this time by Harrison. So the Falcons putting on a lot of pressure early on in the game. Benton trying to send it forward. St. Peter's trying to clear it out and relieve a little bit of this off their goalie. And it's St. Peter's now on the rush. Falcons back checking. That's Denny's. He's going to put the stick in there. That's going to go off of Armstrong, who was just there on the angle. St. Peter's trying to get another shot on. This time the puck sent down to the corner, picked up by LeGrand on the boards. LeGrand, nice pass over to 20. That was Newport, Grant Newport. Newport looking for a shot. That's deflected. Picked up by Bryant, who came flying in. 9:52 on the clock. Walking horse up at the point. Pass over off the boards. That's going to get picked up by Beck. Back down to Newport. Newport looking for a centering pass. That one deflected. Sent over to Mickley. Now down to the goalie, Ariola, with another nice save for St. Peter's. That stops the clock at 9:33. Sent down, out. Falcons will have to reset. That one went off the skate of Beck. Beck's going to send it down. Now Brian on the forecheck. Newport over to support. Picked up by Walking Horse, who sends it back down. Now it's Newport chasing behind, but St. Peter's has it. St. Peter's trying to kick it out. Picked up by Beck at the point again. Now deflected off the body of Bryant. Bryant, who collected it. He wound up down into the shooting lane, but again contested by St. Peter's, and Beck bodying out number 77. That was Lincoln Livingston, the son of one of the assistant coaches on the team. That's number 26 for St. Peter's, Owen Patrick. Beck has come up. Now St. Peter's is going to slide down. St. Peter's into the low slot. Shot saved by Armstrong off the blocker. That's Newport, who lost his stick. He's going to try to scoot that over with his skate. Walking Horse trying to send it out. That was Camper, who tried to get there. Now back into the Walking Horse hands. He'll deflect that off the boards. Camper with a sliding shot. That's going to get deflected. Number 8 looking for it. That's Glosmeyer. Falcons trying to send it out. And backhanded. A little misdirection by Benton, and that's into the bench, almost hitting Scott Newport. That'll lead to a face-off down in the Falcons' defensive zone. So good pressure as we expected. Both teams getting some early opportunities. 8:01 on the clock now in the first. This is still facing off against Ford Gorham. Masterson will slide it over. Ford Gorham coming up to the point. That one's going to go to the hands. It's now in the hands of the St. Peter's Hockey Club, as they had one down low. They were trying to collect it. 3 Falcons jerseys came over. Prevented some shot opportunity. That's going to get passed up to the point. Picked up by the Falcons. Now Gorham. Gorham will look to get over to Lurk. Gorham shifting over to center. This is Masters. Masters chasing after number 52. That's Clark. Clark for St. Peter's had it momentarily. Masters went down. Gorham chasing after, but it looks like number 99, Dyke, may have had his hand on it. This time was still for St. Peter's. Kept in by LeGrand. Now LeGrand and Gorham. Gorham pass over to LeGrand. Picked up by St. Peter's off the redirect. Now LeGrand looking for another shot. That's going to get deflected. Harrison swings it over. Centering pass. No, Harrison still has it. Loose puck. Now back in the hands of St. Peter's. They're going to shift up. St. Peter's now back on the rush through the neutral zone. Falcons back checking. Picked up by Masters. Masters clears it up. 6:40 on the clock. This will be, that was number 1, I believe. That was Dylan Whitler, who sent it ahead, but couldn't get picked up by St. Peter's. That's going to be icing, as that was sent ahead of the red line all the way down toward the goalie. Untouched. 6:33 now on the clock here in the first. It's Kernitsky and Beck back on defense. St. Peter's trying to get it through the neutral zone. They've done it. It's Liska and Montgomery all on the attack. LeGrand has it. He'll send it back off the boards in the neutral zone, but picked up by Whitler. This time loose again, and it's Maxwell Harrison. That's number 86, Montgomery, sending it ahead. Picked up by Beck again. He sent it over toward Benton. Benton to Harrison. Loose puck contested by Whitler. Whitler tries to get his stick on it. He has it over on the boards. St. Peter's now back with possession into the neutral zone. LeGrand getting his stick on it. Benton waiting for the Falcons to reset. Harrison crossing the blue line, but a little too late as that's offsides. And we'll face off just across the blue line here on the spectator side with 5:52 left on the clock. This time it's Reese Mickley at center. Newport, Bryant, Denny, and Walkenhorst on the ice for the Falcons. That was a nice pass. Walkenhorst up to Bryant. Bryant chasing it down to the corner. Sent wide around the circle. Denny. Pass over to Newport. Newport pass to Bryant. Bryant couldn't get his stick on it. It was deflected by number 77 for St. Peter's. 77 back around the boards. This time to Walkenhorst. St. Peter's trying to gather it. That was number 8. One-timer by Newport. Bryant to Newport. And that'll be the first goal of the game at 5:18. That's forward Gorham at center. Lurk. Masterson. Denny. And Walkenhorst coming off the ice. And it'll be number 63, Masters, who's coming in. Long shot by Denny. Denny with a shot that was deflected off the arm of Ariola. Ariola, who's probably seen 10 or 15 shots so far, has done a great job in net. Denny will send it around the boards. Number 26, Patrick, gets his stick on it. Lurk putting a little body into it. Now back over to Lurk. This time past Lurk and into the hands of Gorham. Gorham shifting up into the neutral zone. Gorham all alone, but just behind to the right is Masterson. Gorham with... That was Gorham trying to send it over to one of the Falcons, but just kicked back through. Now it's Masterson. Masterson goes down. Got his stick on it. St. Peter's trying to clear it. 2 St. Peter's players on the ice. Now picked up by Brevin Masters. Masters all alone as the Falcons had a line change there. So now St. Peter's back on the attack. Thompson will shift in up to Clark, but nice back checking. Now it's Camper. No offsides called there. LeGrand getting his stick on there. Good defense by LeGrand up at the point. That one's almost cleared out. Good job by Krnitsky to stop that puck from getting toward the net. That one trying to get picked up by Camper. This time Harrison now. Camper pressures. Harrison with a shot. Off the blocker. Down low. Loose puck. The rebound picked up. This time it's Benton with another shot. That's just wide. Harrison swings behind the net. He's looking for a wraparound. That's going to get blocked by Ariola. And picked up off the backhand shot of LeGrand as the puck was just kind of swinging around in the air, and Ariola gloved it. Nice save. Stop the clock at 3:11 here in the first. Peters trying to send it out. This is Liska with possession. Mickley got his stick in there. That was Xander Bryant over to Newport, but Newport slid down. Walkenhorst came in to contest, but that puck was sent down by Montgomery, and that'll be icing. It'll bring us 200 feet down in the opposite direction, where the Falcons will face off in their own attacking zone. Newport at left, Bryant at right, Mickley at center, Walkenhorst and Beck back on defense. That's Liska at center, Mickley poking it over to Bryant, but St. Peter's got their stick on it. St. Peter's off the boards to themselves. This time back down the ice, picked up by Beck. Beck will wrap it around behind the net. Beck off the boards to Bryant. That was number 10 over to Liska, now to 86. That's going to be another shot opportunity by number 70, Gamage. Gamage will send it down to the corner, picked up by Beck. Actually, correction. Oh, what a shot by number 86, Adam Montgomery. As he swung around, the defense went down low and sent it to the top shelf just over Armstrong's glove and shoulder. So what a shot. That's Armstrong with a glove save. So we have a tie game as time is now just under 2 minutes on the clock here in the first. Incredible shot by Montgomery to get that one in. Sent out. Now it's the neutral zone possession. Picked up by Lurk. Good opportunity by Lurk. He'll send that down, but again, picked up on a glove save by Ariola. And we'll have a quick line change as Gorham, Lurk, Masterson all head off. Denny and Masters will remain back on defense. It's Benton at center, Maxwell Harrison at left, and James LeGrand at right wing. .140 left on the clock. That's going to get sent down into the low slot, but picked up by St. Peter's. Clark with possession. That's the back-checking Falcons who cleared it over for a second, but Livingston now trying to get possession of this. Now in the hands of Parks. Sent down. It's Armstrong who will smother it. Stops the clock at 1:19. Camper, he'll have a slap shot. That's going to go down low. Saved by Armstrong off his leg pad. Looks like that was a little bit of covered in traffic as well. James LeGrand doing a good job up the point to send that out into the neutral zone. In the hands of Benton. Benton will send in. Now it's Harrison, LeGrand, Benton with a shot. That's going to be a glove save by Ariola. 59 seconds remains here in the first period. Karniski and Beck back on defense. Mickley at center. That's Newport and Bryant on wing. Newport will chase this down to the corner. St. Peter's centering pass. This one's going to get picked up by Karniski. Long wrist shot in traffic. Deflected by Newport off the body of Ariola. Under 40 seconds remains. Pass into the neutral zone toward Parks by St. Peter's. Picked up by Beck. Beck across the red line. Now back to Beck. Beck now to Mickley. Mickley ahead. He'll send it down low. 15 seconds remains. That'll get picked up by Bryant. Bryant contested by Parks. Now over to Bryant. Loose puck down into the shooting lane. No. Sent back wide. 1 second. And that's the first period. Both teams will head back to the bench. Great energy from both teams. We'll see what they do to adjust here in moving into the second period. So just to recap, Falcons open up scoring in the first with a nice assist from Xander Bryant over to Grant Newport. Grant Newport, who scored with 5:18 on the clock on a slap shot, one-timer. And then late in the first, with a goal by Montgomery with about 2 minutes remaining to even the score was Montgomery again with a wrist shot, a nice wrist shot over the shoulder of Armstrong. And that brings us to 1-1. That was an icing call, so we're headed back down to the Falcons' offensive zone. Liska will face off against Gorham. Masterson at right wing. Walkenhorst and Masters back on defense. And we'll see who's on left wing. That was a wrist shot by Walkenhorst off the body of St. Peter's. Walkenhorst, Montgomery's going to get beat. That's Montgomery looking for a shot. Lurk is the other Falcons player on the ice at the moment. Number 91. Falcons attempting to clear, picked up by Whittler. Whittler shot in traffic, off the body of a Falcon. That time it was Gamage, number 70. 86 Montgomery kicks it over. Gamage will get there for St. Peter's. St. Peter's sending it down to the point. Picked up by St. Peter's. It's Whittler in the neutral zone who gathers it. Over to Gamage. Now to Montgomery. Montgomery in, passes off the boards to himself. Montgomery looking for a pass. That one over to Masterson. Pass down low, gloved by St. Peter's. Saved by Armstrong. And sent down by Masterson. That's icing. We'll have a line change for the Falcons and St. Peter's Hockey Club. It's Denny, Brunitsky, LeGrand, Maxwell Harrison, and Benton. Benton at center will face off against number 34, Max Dubczynski. Loose puck down in the slot. Picked up by Harrison, then poked away by number 17 or 77, Livingston. Brief exchange in the neutral zone. Pass from Brunitsky to LeGrand. Picked up by St. Peter's and cleared across the blue line. It was Brunitsky who carried it in. Falcons unable to reset, so that'll be an offsides call. We'll face off here on the spectator side, just across the blue line. 10:29 on the clock here in the second period. Harrison sends it down to the corner. Falcons on the forecheck. LeGrand blocks that pass by St. Peter's. Brunitsky at the corner. It's Dubczynski. Glosmeyer. Dubczynski looking for something, poked away by Denny. Denny over to Harrison on the boards. Dubczynski back down. Dubczynski down in the center. Armstrong is going to block that. What a save. That may have actually been picked up by number 81 Benton too, as the puck was just loose over to the right side of the net. And a good opportunity for St. Peter's. We may have our first penalty call of the game, as we had a St. Peter's Hockey Club player and a Falcons player go down at the same time. And we'll see if somebody goes to the sin bin. No. That'll just be a reset here at center ice. Still a tie game, no penalty called. Reese Mickley at center. That's going to be a loose puck picked up by Mickley in the neutral zone. Over to Xander Bryant. Xander Bryant shifts down into the low slot. Shot, gloved. Actually, rebound left opportunity for the Falcons. And that puck crosses the blue line. Beck has it now. Beck sends it off the boards. Picked up by St. Peter's. St. Peter's sends it in, but Parks couldn't reset. Puck sent in before Parks could cross the blue line. That's offsides. Face off again on the spectator side, this time near the Falcons end. Still Parks. They're going to call that offsides again, so only a second or two shaving off the clock. Masterson, Gorham, Blurt. Masters and Beck back on defense. This one will be picked up by Armstrong. He's going to get his stick on it for a little bit of puck play. Dangerous, as that was St. Peter's, who had an opportunity down in the low slot. Number 62, that was Henry Parks. Picked up centering pass, down low, on the doorstep of Ariola. Sent back wide by St. Peter's, this time on Lurk. Lurk sends it over toward Masterson. Cleared out. It's going to be Parks chasing after, but Beck gets there first. Beck off the boards in the neutral zone. Picked up by Masterson. Masterson at the point. Long shot. And glove save by Ariola. 8:30 on the clock. We'll face off down low on the spectator side in the Falcons offensive zone. Babe. Denny with possession. Sends it into the neutral zone, but ping pong back the other way. And that's St. Peter's losing the stick, and they try to get their skate on it. St. Peter's keeping it up the point. It's Gamage. Actually, Montgomery waiting for a centering pass. That one's going to get cleared loose. It's Whitler with possession now at top of the point. Shot and just wide. Armstrong trying to slide over. That's a shot and score by Whitler. And St. Peter's will have their first lead of the game. St. Peter's back on the attack. It's Gamage and Liska, but picked up by Krasniqi as that was just cleared out. Now Falcons trying to get something going. It's Reese Mickley. Reese Mickley spinning around. He still has it. Reese looking for a shot. That's a centering pass picked up by Newport. The one-timer unable to go this time as Newport had it prior. Back down behind the net. Falcons trying to do something to answer this attack. And now it's Beck with possession. He'll carry it behind the net. Beck pass over toward Newport. Newport to Mickley. Mickley back through the neutral zone. St. Peter's trying to get possession and carry it back into their zone, but that's offsides as they weren't unable to reset. 6:59 on the clock now. Livingston with possession now. Actually, it's Masterson who picks it up in the neutral zone. Masterson looking for a shot. That's going to be a sliding shot. Right leg pad save by Ariola. It's Dubchinsky who pokes it down in the neutral zone. Picked up by Walkenhorst. Back through into the neutral zone. But Regina, number 44, Tony Regina, has it. He'll intentionally clear it back into their attacking zone. Masterson with possession off that. Masterson looking to swing around and maybe get a attack going. That's going to be the first penalty call of the game on a tripping, as Masterson had the puck and went down over on the boards. Called on St. Peter's. So it'll be number 77, Livingston, going to the sin bin. puck just deflected by St. Peter's. That was 81 Benton. Denny will get there on the boards. Picked up by number 94 for St. Peter's. They'll send it down. It's Krenitsky who will get there first. Krenitsky looking for a Falcons player to pass to. Short-handed opportunity. No penalty called, as that was number 28 Still who went down. Pass over to Maxwell Harrison. Harrison into the neutral zone. Harrison and LeGrand. Harrison looking for a pass. Harrison's shot. Loose puck picked up by Ariola. 38 seconds remains on the power play and the player advantage for the Falcons. Falcons trying to tie the game. That's going to be a wholesale line change as Mickley back in. Bryan at right wing, Newport at left. Masters and Beck back on defense, but it's St. Peter's who had it. Picked up by Masters, now cleared again, this time down the length of the ice, and that's icing. We'll clear it and head back down and face off in the attacking zone for the Falcons with a 27-second player advantage. Puck frozen by Mickley and number 60 Hayden Liska. But it's St. Peter's who will carry it through. Picked up by Beck, so good back checking. Now it's Xander Bryant and Newport on the attack. Xander Bryant pass to Newport. Newport sliding shot. Sorry about the camera work there. Xander Bryant with a nice pass over to Newport. Newport unable to really get a clear shot on it. That was a 2-on-1 though. Beck looking for a centering pass. Loose puck down low. Picked up by Newport. Deflected back down to the corner. It's an even strength game. It's Montgomery and Liska. Actually, yes, that's Liska, but pressure by Beck. They're going to prevent anything from materializing. Picked up by Xander Bryant. Actually, loose puck over to Mickley. Kept in by St. Peter's. Newport goes down. Shot by Livingston. Montgomery down to the corner. Centering pass. This will be number 96. Shot saved by Armstrong. Another shot. Blocked. Armstrong switching over. He's loose. St. Peter's getting some opportunities. 60 Liska with another shot off the body of Mickley. Mickley will finally clear it out, and I'm sure they're happy to remove some of that. And that's offside, or correction, that's icing. 3:44 on the clock now, here in the second period. Armstrong, who came over to the left side of the net, quickly saw the puck getting adjusted back over to the other end. Gorham, center pass just in front of the goalie, but picked up by Walkenhorst. Walkenhorst pass to Masterson. Masterson past the red line into the neutral zone. Depchinski for St. Peter's, poking it the other way. This time Gamage. Gorham getting his stick on it. That'll go down to Armstrong. Armstrong leaves the net to poke it. Unable to get in contact. Now to 44. Picked up by Walkenhorst. Walkenhorst looking to clear it. Just cleared across the blue line. Now it's Masterson. Masterson enters, looking for a shot. That's a shot picked up by Livingston skate. Walkenhorst back down the line. Walkenhorst now a sliding shot, deflected by number 34 Depchinski. Benton back down to the corner. Livingston had it. No, just past Livingston's skate. Walkenhorst will pick this one up off the boards at the point. Actually, that's past Walkenhorst. Walkenhorst will look for a pass, but it's picked up by Montgomery. Montgomery looking for a shot, and over the right shoulder of Armstrong, 246. That's an insurance lead, so Falcons who open it up. So a little breakdown by the defense there as the puck went past Walkenhorst through the neutral zone, picked up by St. Peter's. And a heads-up play by St. Peter's to grab that and send it into the net is Livingston, who cleared it just over and in over Armstrong's right shoulder. Again, we've seen that twice. It's Armstrong who will poke it back down. This one picked up by Falcons. That's Maxwell Harrison who sends it over. This time it's Camp. That one loose. Armstrong saving it. Thompson sends it down. Armstrong will smother that puck. And 2:06 left now as the Falcons will try to turn the momentum. So Falcons opened up the scoring, but 3 unanswered goals by St. Peter's. Montgomery, Whitler, and Livingston. 2 of those coming here in the second period. And it's Beck. Beck up through the neutral zone. Beck, Newport, Mickley. Shot by Beck. And glove save. Nice wrist shot by Beck. 1:55 on the clock. That was centering pass. Backhand centering pass by Mickley. That was interesting. Denny will send that the other way in the neutral zone. Picked up by St. Peter's though. This time back in the hands of Denny. Denny will send it low. That was deflected. No icing call. Xander Bryan in. Newport. Now past Beck. Actually to Beck. In the hands of Beck looking for a centering pass. It's Beck who will keep it. Off the hands of Whitler. Now Newport. Shot by Reese Mickley as he picked it up and sent it in. That's a goal. Falcons back within 1. So they're in striking distance to even this. They've got a little bit of renewed energy off of that one. That one was a shot by Reese Mickley over by the face-off dot on the spectator side. A low sliding shot at that. Just through the leg pads of Ariola, who's seen a ton of shots and did a great job to get in the right spot, but Reese Mickley poking it through. And that's Gorham trying to keep it in. St. Peter's trying to clear it out. They get that job done, but picked up by the Falcons again. This time Gorham. Now it's Masterson. Masterson swings over. He's going to try to clear it through. Masterson with possession. Poked away by St. Peter's. Now back to Denny. Denny has it. He'll send it past Masterson. Masterson and Gorham up. Gorham with possession. St. Peter's now. St. Peter's back through their ice. Into the neutral zone. Poked away by Masterson. Masterson long wrist shot. That's going to be a blocker save by Ariola. Lurk on the opposite end. Lurk centering pass over toward Gorham, but picked up by St. Peter's. That one's going to be Denny who grabs it at the point. Long sliding shot and a redirect as that one slid past the net and dangerous again. It's Gorham who goes down. Whitler with possession. Whitler looking for a pass up to Parks. Unable to connect on that. And we'll head to the third with St. Peter's Hockey Club on a 1-goal lead. So an exciting game, both teams putting a ton of energy into it on the ice. Hey, where are the kids? Oh, okay. All right, Armstrong back in net. Ariola is ready on the other end. It's Montgomery who will face off against Benton, LeGrand, and Harrison on right and left wing respectively. Beck and Masters back on defense. That one picked up by the Falcons, but sent through. This one's Gamage, who's going to chase after, but Beck has possession. Beck will swing back through behind the net. Beck looking to clear it over, but poked away by Gamage, number 70 for St. Peter's. Beck losing it down in the corner, but he's got some support from the Falcons. This time it's Benton who picks it up. It's Benton and the Falcons on the attack. Benton on the rush. Masters waits. Benton looking for something. He's going to send it forward. That was just off the body right in front of Ariola. Masters will pick this up off the swing around by St. Peter's. This time to Harrison. Loose puck down low. And it's Benton looking for a centering shot. That one backhand shot by Benton. Smothered up by Ariola. And stops the clock at 12:09. So the Falcons come out fiery. Get one toward the net. But a good stop by Ariola. Line change brings out Newport to right wing. Bryant at right wing. Newport at left wing, Bryant at right wing. Mickley at center, centering pass, picked up by St. Peter's. It's Denny back on defense, who picks that pass up by St. Peter's in the neutral zone. Mickley chasing after, putting some pressure on Campler. Puck sent the other direction. St. Peter's with possession. They'll look to get the rush going. Xander Bryant swings in there. He picks it up. The other way, now sent by St. Peter's. And that's Newport who grabs it with his stick. That's going to be a high stick call. And so our second penalty of the game will go to Newport. Peter's looking to get a shot off. That's going to be a shot down toward the net. Picked up by St. Peter's down in the low slot. Poked away by Kornitsky. Denny trying to pick that one up. That's going to be St. Peter's shoving Kornitsky down into the boards. No call on that one. That's Liska. These kids getting a little chippy down there on the boards. But it's Gorham who's going to exit. Now it's in the hands of Lurk. Lurk, pass over to Masters. Actually, Masterson shot. Loose puck picked up by Gorham. No, deflected by St. Peter's. So it was the Falcons who were shorthanded. It's Gorham who's going to poke it off the boards. Gorham again looking to get his stick on it, but Lipska comes in. No offsides called. It's in the hands of Denny for the Falcons. Denny passing to the neutral zone. Not deflected. They're going to let it go. Gorham's going to get to the corner first. Line change for the Falcons, who are still shorthanded. Actually, no, it's even strength. An effective penalty kill. Loose puck. Rebound picked up by LeGrand down low. No. And it was a rebound opportunity. LeGrand sending it back through in traffic. This one off the boards. St. Peter's will have it, but Walkenhorst will send it back to LeGrand. LeGrand off the boards. He's looking for a shot, wrist shot to the body of Ariola, who smothers it. That stops the clock at 9:44, so the Falcons throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Ariola, who continues to do a good job in net. It's St. Peter's. Pass from Parks to Clark, but the back-checking Falcons pick it up. Now over to Benton from Beck. Benton off the boards. Whitler getting his stick on it, but back in the hands of Benton. Benton looking to connect to another Falcon. It's going to wind around over to Walkenhorst. Walkenhorst redirected off the body of one of the St. Peter's Hockey Club players. Picked up by Beck on the other end. Now it's Harrison who swings in. He's going to look for something. Harrison, two white sweaters on either side of him. Benton over toward the center ice, but unable to get picked up. And this is going to be Armstrong, who's going to have to come up. This is loose in front. Loose puck down low. Now pass up to Harrison. Harrison and LeGrand. Harrison gets sticked over. Harrison pressure, centering puck over to LeGrand, but just wide. That's going to get picked up by Mickley. Mickley is going to try to swing around, sends it down. That's going to be a loose puck, and Harrison couldn't pick it up as Ariola was over there, and there was a little bit of net. Now Masters back over to LeGrand. Good opportunity for the Falcons. That was Masters who kept trying to kick at it. He's lost his skate. Harrison kicks it loose. Masters keeps kicking at it. He finally picks his stick up. And it's Newport who's going to swing in, as that pass by Livingston was just redirected off one of the bodies of the St. Peter's players. Now it's Montgomery. Armstrong's going to come out to contest. Armstrong, big save. Oh, it's Armstrong. It was actually redirected. Good job by Armstrong to come over and contest. And Montgomery had a good job, a good clear shot, but he's coming up off the ice a little tender. Newport bumps into Livingston, but it's going to be Reese Mickley with a shot. That's a glove save by Ariola. 7:13 on the clock. Picked up by the Falcons. Beck, long shot, gloved again by Ariola to shave a couple more seconds off the clock here in the third. Falcons continue to do whatever they can to send it down. Gorham at center, picked up by Masterson. Actually, that's going to be bodied over by St. Peter's. Beck has it now. He's going to try to send that off the boards, but kept in by St. Peter's. So they're on the attack now. 3 enter the zone. It's loose down low. Gorham trying to get his stick on it. Back over to Beck. Beck has possession. He'll send it off the boards. Through the neutral zone. It's going to be number 91, Lurk, trying to get there ahead of the red line. He does it. He's going to swing behind the net. St. Peter's now will send it through the neutral zone again. Beck will pick this one up. Beck with possession. Beck off the boards to Masterson. Gorham chasing after in the neutral zone. Gorham trying to get his stick on it. Now back over to Gorham. Gorham's going to try to come back over and swing over. Gorham will get a shot. That's going to be a save by Ariola. Lurk came over to pick up the rebound, as that was just in front of Ariola. Now back to Kornitsky at the point. Kornitsky over to Gorham. Gorham swinging over. Centering pass. That's going to go off the back of the net, though, off a redirect. Now in the hands of LeGrand. LeGrand centering pass. Gorham tried to get his stick on it. Unable to do so. Kept in. No, not kept in. It's going to be a 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Beck swinging over. Loose puck. Armstrong trying to come out. Now it's Benton. Benton looking to exit. Benton, no other Falcon player there. Gets poked behind by Patrick for St. Peter's. LeGrand trying to get his stick on it. Lurk coming out on the line change. Now LeGrand pokes it ahead. That's off the body of Thompson. Now to number 26 for St. Peter's. Walkenhorst back through the neutral zone. Both teams doing a little bit of ping pong now. Harrison with possession. He's going to enter, but a couple white shirts on him. This is still trying to dance through traffic. Benton's going to come over. He's going to go down. No penalty called, as it was still, it looked like he had an opportunity. We're going to get a whistle blown on icing, but I think St. Peter's got maybe tripped and no call. 4:44 on the clock here in the third. Falcons may have to pull their goalie. We'll see what happens. But it's Walkenhorst, Denny, Gorham, Bryant, and Newport on the ice for the Falcons. Number 62 giving a little shove from behind. That's going to get picked up by Whitler. Whitler with another long shot wide. Armstrong trying to deflect, came out over. This is Whitler again looking for another shot. Actually passed back to 62. A lot of bodies going down as the teams are getting pretty rough out there. It's Gorham, pass over to Bryant. Bryant trying to collect it, but now back in the hands of Parks. Parks looking for a shot. That's going to be a shot. Just past Armstrong's glove. That's going to put the hockey club up 4-2. And a wrist shot over on the faceoff dot. With 4:14 to go. Another shot. That's just off the crossbar. One of the goalie's best friends. St. Peter's trying to keep it in their own zone. Falcons with possession now. It's going to be Masterson and Lurk. Shot picked up by Ariola. Club with a 4-2 lead, 3:37 left to go. That's going to go to Benton, but St. Peter's picks it up. It's Gamage who's going to enter. Gamage will look to get a shot. Beck contesting. That's going to go off the back of the net. Armstrong's blocked as another Falcons player was in the net. Armstrong's going to clear up. Now Beck off the boards into the neutral zone. Harrison comes over to pick it up. Sent back into the attacking zone by St. Peter's, but they're unable to reset. 3:13 on the clock. And we'll face off here at center. Gorham, Bryant, Newport all on the ice. Krenitsky and Denny back on defense. It's Bryant who's going to try to send it off the boards, but picked up by St. Peter's. Now Krenitsky down to the corner. Denny over to support. Krenitsky facing some pressure by a couple St. Peter's players. Passes it over to Newport. Newport in the neutral zone. Newport pass over to Bryant. Just past his stick. Now into the hands of St. Peter's. It's going to be Montgomery with possession. He'll swing over looking for a shot. That's going to be deflected by Armstrong's stick. Now back in the hands of St. Peter's. Over to Gorham, though. Gorham looking to exit. Gorham with possession in the neutral zone. He'll swing wide. Gorham stops. Centers over to Bryant. Just past Bryant. Over to the boards. Bryant now in the corner. Contested on either side by St. Peter's. A couple of Falcons players come over. Now it's Gorham swinging into the slot. Gorham with a shot. That's just wide, as it looked like Ariola lost it in traffic, but that's sent in by Bryant. Bryant scores, 2 minutes remaining. That's a goal by Bryant. Falcons can tie this game. It's Lurk at left wing, Masterson at right, Mickley, Krenitsky, and Denny on the ice. Armstrong's going to come over and get a word from the coach. They're telling him, keep eyes on us, because they're going to plan to pull the goalie if they can get the puck down into their own attacking zone. So likely it'll be the St. Peter's Hockey Club who will face a So it's Armstrong who's going to keep an eye on the coaches to get ready to get pulled so the Falcons can bring another player on the ice. St. Peter's likely to face some extra pressure. St. Peter's trying to clear it up. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Picked up by St. Peter's. It's going to get sent down low. It's Gorham, actually Denny, correction, who's going to grab it. Now into neutral zone. They're going to pull Armstrong. Armstrong's coming off. Parks will face some pressure. Denny over, actually picked up by Lurk. Lurk sends it the other way. That's going to go through the neutral zone. Loose puck down low. It's Patrick who's going to try to grab it and send it toward the net. That's going to go behind. Now Denny, actually that's Gorham who has it. Gorham swings over. Gorham passed through the neutral zone. That's going to go untouched. That'll be icing. Armstrong will have to go back onto the net. 1:27 remains here in the third period. 4-3 game. Falcons trying to tie. Falcons with possession. Now it's Harrison who's going to take it through the neutral zone. Harrison past Whitler. Harrison down into the attacking zone. Armstrong off the net. Falcons with 6 players. 1:15 remains. Harrison now in the corner. He'll pick it up, looking for a centering pass. That's going to get picked up by Gorham. Gorham swinging around. Sticked over by the Falcons. Now Gorham trying to get a pass down. Gorham with possession. Shot wide. Harrison grabs it. He's looking for a wraparound. Harrison swings over the other way. Harrison with a good opportunity. 50 seconds remain. Now just passed. It's going to be Denny who has it at the neutral zone. Denny at center line. Picked up by the St. Peter's Club. Now in the hands of Beck. Beck trying to send it the other way. Back into the neutral zone. Gorham, Harrison, Denny all trying to grab it. Frozen on the boards. Now picked up, sent back into the Falcons attacking zone. 30 seconds remains. Beck with possession. He'll send it over to Gorham. Just past Gorham. Now in the hands of Whitler. Whitler sends it through. Picked up by Harrison, who's back on the attack. Harrison trying to get it the other way. Now it's Whitler who's going to try to get the puck over. Now to Globesmeyer. Lost puck. Just wide as St. Peter's try to get an empty netter. That one's loose. Falcons back on the attack. 3 seconds remains. And it's going to be time. That's a win by St. Peter's. And a ton of effort by both teams. And what a good job by the St. Peter's Hockey Club. And a great effort by the Chesterfield Falcons. And so it's the St. Peter's Hockey Club who will come away with the win. And they'll go up to 4-0-1. Falcons will be 4-1-0. So we'll see if the point change will change their declaration season standings. Both teams will shake hands, and this was a game at Sunday, October 19th. Likely the 5th and last declaration game between St. Peter's Hockey Club and Chesterfield Falcons at the St. Peter's Recplex South B rank. We will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.